Okay, so today I'm going to make a video about what we know and what we don't know about Pendulum Summons based on the information released today, which was February 17th of 2014. And I'm going to kind of also do a demonstration of how to do it based on what we know. I'm going to assume you've seen the releases, the cards, and the other images that have been released today. Coming from V-Jump in Japan, which is an official Konami source, so I'm going to take what they give us right now. But anyway, based on that, I guess the first thing I want to start out with, the reason I didn't use a playmat with zones on it was because we've got two new zones. One of them basically between your deck and graveyard, and then between your extra deck and your field card zone, you have two pendulum zones, and this is for the new Pendulum Summon mechanic. Your pendulum monsters are basically, whenever they're placed in these zones, they're treated as spell cards, and that basically they determine what monsters you're able to summon, Pendulum Summon. So I'm just going to kind of show you. I got a couple really roughly done, kind of simplified pendulum monsters right here. Kind of didn't add anything on there besides the new stuff. The pendulum scale on here, which is the blue and red on either side, and then just kind of some regular monsters here to just kind of demonstrate how this works. Okay, basically, we're going to assume, since they haven't told us otherwise, we're going to assume you can play more than one per turn. Because it's treated as a spell, I tend to lean that way. So we're going to just say, just for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to put our scale 1 here over on this side, our scale 8 over on this side, and basically what the scales mean is that any number between 1 and 8, any level, you can special summon that from your hand. Now, when you pendulum summon, you can summon as many as you want. You summon as many monsters as you want, but you can only do it once. So let's say, for example, if you were to pendulum summon a bunch of monsters and then somehow draw more cards, you can't go into another pendulum summon. You can only do one per turn. So just for the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and say I pendulum summon all my monsters. Now, of course, Caius is not going to get his effect because he's not tribute summoned. There are monsters that are otherwise normal effect monsters, like the dragon that was revealed in the images today. There are monsters that do get their effects when they're pendulum summoned, kind of like a monarch, but with only when it's pendulum summoned. So you have that, but you can also, from what we've been told so far, you can just go ahead and you can pendulum summon regular effect monsters or normal monsters. I wouldn't be led to believe that you could summon ritual monsters from the hand, or monsters like Dark Arm Dragon that have requirements. I wouldn't be led to believe that you could summon those. But just like, for example, these cards here could all be pendulum summoned, and then from what I assume, you could go ahead and take Plague Spreader and do a synchro summon from that. So based on that, got that. Let's see. So now we kind of go on to what happens when these get destroyed. Well, since they're treated as spells, we're going to go ahead and assume they can be destroyed by Mystical Space Typhoon. So let's say you went ahead and played Mystical Space Typhoon on my scale 8 pendulum monster here. Well, what happens when they get destroyed like that is that they go face up in the extra deck. This is the extra deck zone over here, and they're going to go face up in the extra deck. I would assume, although we have not been told, I would assume that this does not affect the 15 card limit, because the 15 card limit is going with cards going into the duel. You're only allowed to have 15 cards, but during the duel it may fluctuate, as it does now with the face up pendulum monsters. These are pendulum monsters, so they'll go in there face up. Now also, when you have face-up pendulum monsters in your extra deck, when you go to pendulum summon, you can also pendulum summon these monsters from the extra deck. So for example, let's just redo this here. I got another pendulum scale 8 here. I'm going to go ahead and put it out here, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm pendulum summoning. Go ahead and summon all my cards, and I've got one face up here in my extra deck. comes to the field, and it's going to get its regular monster effect. It's treated as a monster now, and it gets its regular monster effect. Now, as for what we don't know, well, we don't even know, we know it's treated as a spell card, but we don't know, can Mystical Space Typhoon destroy it? We're not sure. These Pendulum Zones could have some kind of special treatment. We're really not sure. Also, when you Pendulum Summon, is it considered one Pendulum Summon, or is it considered multiple Pendulum Summons? Are you Pendulum Summoning each of these, or is it just one Pendulum Summon? I would be inclined to believe that each individual one is a Pendulum Summon, but just because you can only do a whole group of Pendulum Summons once per turn, that's left up a little bit to interpretation, which I'm sure we'll find out at some point. And the other question is, Pendulum monsters being treated as spells while in the Pendulum Zone, monsters while they're in the Monster Zone. As you can tell from the the pictures that you've probably seen online, they're half orange and half green, like half spell, half monster. What are these treated as in the deck and graveyard when they're not on the field, when they're not in the Pendulum Zone or the Monster Zone? We know what they're treated as then. How do you search them? I mean, can they be searched with the, your elemental searchers, like like Giant Rat, Mystic Tomato, stuff like that? We don't know. We're not sure. So those are kind of questions that we're not sure of yet. But hopefully we'll be finding out here in the near future. Just kind of wanted to make this video just to go over the way I interpreted it. Just kind of wanted to get that out there. I know some people said they wanted to see a video, so I just wanted to go ahead and make that, kind of explain everything as best as I could. And I kind of wanted to end with a little bit of wondering of what's going to happen to the old playmats. What's going to happen to the dual discs? You can't go adding extra zones. I don't know. I've got a really nice dual disc though, and I'm going to be kind of sad. But anyway, I guess we'll figure that out. Maybe they'll release some kind of update for the dual disc. I won't hold my breath for that, but anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't. Anyway, appreciate you watching.